Alright, I just wanted to give you an update. I'm officially off the trail. I had hurt my ankle yesterday. There's a little story that goes with that. I happened to run into some characters on the trail on Wednesday night. Shortly after I did my day 5 video, I was at Whitley Gap, just near Hog Pen Gap. I'm sorry, I was at Whitley Shelter near Hog Pen Gap, and it was getting late. I thought I was going to be there for the night by myself, but a couple of hikers showed up around 8 o'clock and kind of had a uneasy feeling about these two guys. I don't know what it was, but being isolated 1.2 miles off the trail at that shelter was already making me feel uneasy. So when these two guys showed up, it was pouring down rain, and they were giving me a story that they were out of water, which that's why I was there. So I really didn't think anything of it, but you just get that feeling. And then one of the guys went for water, so I was talking to one of the guys, and he told me he had just met that guy that went for water a few miles back. And then when the other guy came back, I talked to the other guy, and he told me he had met this guy at Neil's Gap. So their stories just weren't lining up. So I was a little uneasy about that. One guy had gear with some food, and the other guy was out there just with a bag of almonds. So I don't know, I just didn't feel easy. Questions they asked me about my stuff, where was I by myself, just made me feel real uneasy, and I really had nowhere to go. So needless to say, it was a very long night. Slept with one eye open, just ready to move out if I had to. Ended up getting up early in the morning and pretty much packing my stuff at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and hightailed it out of there. On my way out, I decided not to go straight up the trail where the only way you could go out. It was a straight 100-yard climb, and with a 45-pound backpack, it just was no way I'm going to make it up in one clean shot. So as soon as I cleared the shelter, I veered off to a side trail, which happened to go to a dead-end campsite, but it went around the bend. I turned my light out, and I hid in the bushes. I just looked back at the shelter, just wanted to make sure no one was going to follow me. Well, then that's where it got real creepy. The guys got up real quick with their lights on and darted up the path where I was supposed to be going. Needless to say, it was a making of a movie. I was very scared, and I stood there. I had nowhere to go. Didn't know what these guys were going to do when they got right up the trail and saw that I wasn't there. They would have known I couldn't have made it up that steep incline very quickly. I waited a couple of minutes hidden there, thinking that I might have to ditch my pack and run, but they showed up back to the shelter and within a minute, and then they started scurrying around in the shelter. Couldn't hear what they were saying. Then I made it. I went ahead and went to the dead end trail, and I managed to cut across the forest towards where I thought the trail was to get out, and I made it there. Twisted my ankle in the process, but there was so much adrenaline flying that I didn't even notice the pain. All I knew is I had a 1.2 mile trek out, and I just kept going, looking over my shoulder the whole time. Never did see the guys again. Finally made it back to the trailhead, and I had a 0.2 mile downhill to the highway. I made it to the highway, managed to get a message to my wife, and they got hold of our friend Steve, and I got picked up. Needless to say, I was really shooken up. I did manage to walk down the highway because I was afraid those guys might show up before I got picked up, and I made it a mile or two before my ankle started to hurt. I guess there may be safety in numbers when you travel. Does it deter me? about ever doing this again. Well, right now I'm shook up, but you know, I'm the kind of person, I'm not gonna let some bad element ruin my fun. You know, what were the guy's intentions? Well, obviously, when they jumped up and came up the trail, it sure wasn't to wish me goodbye. I have no idea what would have happened if I had gone that way. I don't like to think about it. But would I do this kind of trip again in the future? Yes. And yes, I am going to do it again because I do plan to continue my section hikes. But I knew I shouldn't have gone to that shelter before I even met these guys. It's just too far away and isolated, and I met a lot of nice people in my 5 days out here. But when you meet somebody and you know they're not out there doing what you're doing, that's where it makes you nervous, and you should always go with your gut feeling. But I thank you for everyone that's watched my videos, and I hope to be out doing this again.